So my understanding of supplementation is it is the tip of the iceberg. I was going to say the icing on the cake, but icing is actually pretty important for a cake, isn't it? And I wouldn't say that supplements are as important as icing on a cake. So for me, if you're doing absolutely everything else right, so your training is spot on, your nutrition is spot on, you're sleeping really well, you're managing all the stresses in your life, you're working on your recovery, mobility and everything else, and you've got nothing left to try and, fine tune, try some supplementation. And even then, it may or may not work for you, depending on what you're taking, obviously. Like, give you an example, like creatine, for example, the guy who founded that or did the original studies on it, he was a professor at my university when I was at uni there, and he said that not everyone's a responder to it, so there's non-responders. And of those that do respond, they may have what we call statistical significance. So there's a statistical significant difference between those that are on creatine and those that aren't. However, there's not always clinical significance or practical significance, which basically means it could be significant for Usain Bolt, world-class athlete, to get that little micro improvement, but to the likes of you and me, doesn't matter. It's a waste of money. So that's generally my thoughts on supplementation. I do take a whey protein for after I train. I'm not quite obsessive about the golden window, as we always used to talk about, but for me, it's just pure convenience. Trying to get enough protein in to maximize muscle gain, and particularly when you're trying to cut fat, is to keep muscle whilst cutting fat. It's really hard to get it just from eating food, so it just makes life easier. So that's the one I recommend.